Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Getting Dirty Off-Road channel. This one we've got demo cars twice. Getting ready for a show right here in town. So I think I've got, well, I had a little time yesterday. Let's cut to a clip real quick. Got to capture the man at work. Beautiful job. I got that tire out of the way on the other side. I figured sensuous.
Yeah.
Then I had to record you welding for proof. So we're getting these welded down. Help the steering out. Maybe. Probably not. Did get the starter put back in properly, so now that works. Just gotta hook our cables back up inside and make it go. And now today. Ha! Wasn't that fancy? Anyways, got a couple things done yesterday. Let's see, I think I just told you in that other clip. But anyways, I bolted the starter back in properly. His show at the state fair, it was cutting out on him, and then it wouldn't crank over, and then we found that the starter was gapped and wasn't making a ground, so it could not crank over. After that, welded some A-arms down, just trying to get it up. You can see how hard this side's leaning. Basically all we're trying to do is run it one more time. So we're just trying to get the tire where we can turn. I think I'm gonna have to change tires. And then I pulled the air cleaner filtre off, and that was because when I got it to start yesterday, it was popping flames out of the carburetor. So we were talking about it. Does anybody know what to do with this thing? Pulled the cleaner off, and right here, the kid took the bracket off from the choke lever. It was on there. We had it wired, which held it open. For some reason, he took it off, did not put it back on. So, state fair demo, when he was ready to give it some juice, the choke was flapping around. Engine was cutting out. He got smoked in the rear. The starter came undone. He was out. So we're going to address this shortly. First thing that we're going to do with this car though now is we're going to pull this steering arm from the wheel, the column, the steering column shaft. We're going to pull that off, and I'll show you why when I get it done. Alrighty, I've got that steering shaft out, off from the gearbox on this side, which I'm pretty sure that the gearbox is toast. So if you can see that, I just turned it all the way down the inside of the box. Now, just turned it all the way back out. Yeah, something's wrong, but it's gonna run just like it is, and it's gonna like it. But anyhows, I had to take that out because she's got a bend in it. And it's a pretty hard bend. So from inside the car, this bends around against the bracket thing that he had holding it in there. And then it gets bound up. Now, that's just what he could find at his place. And it made it to 3 demos. But that last one, boy, if you watch that at the state fair, he got walloped. So we are gonna have to get that changed to something else because that's not gonna work out. So I'm gonna think on it, look around, try to figure this out. Meanwhile, I'm doing other things as well. You know how it goes. So right now I'm gonna see about changing that air filter housing. I don't know. I might just have to use what was on there, but we'll see. I'll mess around. Okay. So I stole the new little chrome cool filter off from the other car that still hasn't made it anywhere. And I think we'll run that on here. So I'm going to have to go grocery bag that other car, it looks like, for a day or two. Now, even though I just put that on there, it's coming back off. We need to get that carburetor. I think we're just going to take it off and have a look at it because there's something wrong. I think it's mostly just the choke butterfly was flapping around, but we're going to take it off and have a look at everything. So, I guess we'll see you in the shop after I take it off. Alrighty, got the carburetor in here on the table. We're going to switch gears real quick. We're going to go back to that steering shaft. Alrighty, so this is the junk he had cobbled together, which should be a little U-joint here. I don't know why he took that off, but we can bring her all the way back down to this piece if we need to. I do have another car I might check. It's got some different things, so I might see if it'll go on the gearbox. But as far as this piece goes right now, we need this coupling for the quick connect for the steering wheel. Be nice. So I decided to come over to my janky old table and use my custom made. Oh, I didn't make it. I got it this way, let's be honest. But anyways, use this custom made clamp here. Let's see if I can burn that off with the grinder. It is pretty janky though. Okay, she's hot. And I took it straight off. Now I can work on this a little bit and beat that stuff out of there from the inside. Alrighty. Here's an actual vise I have. I can't get too Western with it because it doesn't really fit well. And it's only got one bolt holding it to the table, but it's gonna help. Now for this, we're gonna go with our big smash it and a punch. Oh, that was fairly easy. Oh, bay. So really all we've got to do is clean up this edge right here so we can get a new shaft in it. All right, I think I like it. Now if I still got to get a little bit of that burr out of the center, I'll just use a round file real quick and whatever it takes to get our solid shaft put inside of this, which is about that big around. I don't know, 3/4 I think. But anyways, we have captured the coupling for the steering wheel. We can reuse it now. Okay, this is another one of the junkers in the yard, but it's got the U-joint piece right here like we normally use. So I'm thinking rather than mess with that other one, we'll just take this one here and maybe, if we're lucky, it will go onto that gearbox in that car, and then we can just get us a piece of cold rolled to go right in the back of this U-joint, which is the easiest way we have found to do it. I'm not sure what he was doing. Okay, let me look inside. I don't remember how we left this. Oh yes, that's right. So from inside we've got another U-joint that we can take off. Okay, now that that's off, we can slide her out just like that. Now we can figure out how. You know, it's slowly coming back to me, but we'll get this put together. Hopefully this one fits that gearbox. Okay, now I've just checked that steering shaft piece from the one car to the other car, and it fits on the gearbox. Not convinced the gearbox is going to work very good, but the front end has got some damage, so as long as it will direct itself into the arena, who cares? Well, at least I don't. You know, maybe the kid might, but oh well, that's how she goes. So now we're back over here with this carburetor. We'll take a look at this and try to figure out something. You know, it may only take the chrome and be fine. You know, it might be the only thing that was missing. But for some reason we had the little bracket, I don't know, on the choke, and then we had that wired open. For some reason it got taken off, and then these were just sitting in there doing what they wanted, shutting the car down. So get rid of that right now, if I can find something small enough to do it. Might be a little tougher than I thought finding something. Little things are pretty small. And then there ain't a whole lot of room around the side of them. Whew, might become something creative. Well. So I wound up getting this funny little cheap and cheesy box from, I don't know. I got it for one of these things for a vacuum cleaner. I think it may work right here too. Maybe not. If I get the right size going, maybe so. I don't know. Problem is, it doesn't have the right size in it. Dang it! So what size are those? This was kind of my only hope for getting these out properly. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Well, shoot. I guess we're just gonna go into break it mode. Really didn't want to, but I could always put the thing back on with the wire to hold it open, maybe. Don't know why that was taken off still. Okay, what we're gonna do now is, this is the little bracket that goes on the choke, on the shaft for the butterflies for the choke. How about if we just put that back in place? I don't know. I think it'll work better. I just can't find anything to get those little screws out to get the butterfly off the shaft. So this is the next thing I know how to do. Which we did have done, by the way. So there is that. So let's wait a minute getting that back on and come down to this electric choke mechanism piece thing, and I'm just gonna take it right off. Now, if you haven't heard it before, you should probably know. I have no idea what I'm doing, which is why I just took this adjuster screw out instead of the one that holds it on. Anyways, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it. Okay, now let's go back to what we were doing. Gonna take this off the side of the carburetor because we're not using it, and I'm tired of looking at it, and it's kind of in the way, and we'll throw it somewhere that will be in the way, but maybe someday need it again. I don't know. Oh, maybe I had to take that adjuster screw out so I can get this last hold down screw out. Maybe I was doing the right thing. Okay, now let's get that. What else is it grabbed onto? That piece right there. Which we can take that off too. You guys bear with me while I talk to myself. There we go. Okay, okay. There's that vacuum cap. Okay. And that's a little guy. How about you? Maybe. Maybe this one's better. plug any of these lines that we expose. Then that way we don't have a vacuum leak going while we're getting rid of all this extra. Okay, there's a choke control mechanism situation. I don't want it anymore. I don't like it. One little chingoletti right there we can get rid of. Okay. Gasolina. Vacuum cap there that's, well, I think I'd put that on in Nebraska maybe, but she was kind of splitting out a little bit. I mean, it looks just like one of these, so just about had to. Should we do that one or this one? Maybe we do that one. Looks better. Oh, it might have been okay, but anyways, we've got some. Let's do it. I can almost smell it again. All right, so now we've got all that off the side. What is that guy? Where did it come off from? Oh, right there. Right there's where it came from. Is it supposed to be there? I don't know. Anywhoosers, let's put this back together now for the choke 'em out situation. Then we just wrap it around there so that it can't close down. That's pretty much, that's just it right there. Bend the wire a little bit the way we like it. Okay. Where's my dang old cutters? Right now I'm just trying to figure out how I can get it to stay on there. And I think I'll utilize this one little screw that I took out on the front here. And there we'll have it. Clip that off and be done with it. Alright, I think that's probably going to be good enough. Even if it does try to move, it can't close anymore. So, that should be okay. Got a new cap here. This is just on the bottom. The old, you guys know, the butterflies in the bottom. Anywho's, that'll be fine how it is. Put a new cap here. Got this little mess of whatever. Just as well remove. Maybe. This big one, geez. I don't know if I have one that big. Goodness. Got that out. Okay, let's see. Maybe that guy again. Yeah. How's about this one? Might be a little big, actually. Nope, it'll be the right one. Got that on. Let's see, does that one need one? I don't know why it would. Just goes back up into the air filter. This nonsense, what do we have with that? That's part of the vroom vroom. Vroom vroom. Wrong manufacturer, I think, but that's okay. Back around to the front here. Looks fine. Okay, what's our adjustment set? Let's go half, 1, half, 2, 2.5 turns. Let's go 1.5, see what happens. Half, 1.5. Half. Oh man, that was one turn on this side, 2.5 on this side. You think that makes a difference? I don't know. Let's set this one the same, 1.5. Half, 1.5. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do it. I've got to run this thing this weekend. You know, she's getting close. All right. I think that maybe that's all I'm going to do. Probably should put a kit in it. It does have a brand new accelerator pump. And it's not really leaking anywhere, so maybe with the idle air fuel mixture adjuster hooter thingamajiggers at the same rate on both sides, maybe that helps. Choke wired open is definitely going to help. And vacuum caps everywhere. That's going to help. So I think I'll stick it back on there. All right, I think the final piece to this carburetor running weird and okay and then weird again puzzle. Well, I do believe it's right in this gasket. It's not good. It's not good, but you know, I had it off and decided maybe we should check on the gaskets. So gonna get that one scraped off from there. This spacer plate, really I kind of wish I could just throw it away, but I don't think I can. Dig that out. And then this was on the spacer plate on the top side. And then this one on top of it. Seems like too much. So better answer the phone. And so now that I've answered the phone, got parts on order, I'll get that cleaned off, get that cleaned up, and then I'll wait for a couple of those. Okay, if you care to have an update here, this goes on to the intake manifold. Let's say I'm the back of the engine. Then this carburetor goes on to it. Tighten it down. Gotta have this spacer. Now I'm sure I could get away with it, but I don't really want to fight too hard with this thing. I just want to put it back on and go. So we need 2 gaskets. Under the carburetor, under the spacer. This, you can see there's holes here. There should be one here too. Whatever that is has held moisture on the intake. When I just cleaned it, where this corner would be is actually pitted up pretty badly all around that stud and the corner of that intake. I've scraped her down as far as I can go with that razor blade and got it all nice and clean, even though it's pitted up. I think I'm just gonna slam a gasket on it and go. It is a demo car, but it's interesting how whatever this is, the gasket was leaking or whatever, it's freaking hard, and it was holding moisture, and it was chewing that metal to pieces. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Where does that even come from? And solid. Oh, better answer the phone. Technology. Anywho's, where's all this come from? What is that? It is full of it. Play me a tune. No, really. Somebody, play me a tune. Get bored when it's quiet. Really need some good music. I think I'm gonna need a little tapper. Man, that stuff is thick. And honestly, if you haven't figured out by now, I really don't care if it's in there or not. But I probably should get the moisture out of there. Smells like gas a little bit. Just happy that I can smell it again. Plant a garden with what I've dug out of there. Jeez. Might be good enough. Nice and clean now. I probably could have spent more time inside of there, but I'm not going to. It has chewed on the edges a little bit, but I think I still have enough surface to get a gasket under it and slap that one on top, carburetor, and see if it'll run better. So I will bring you back after it's on there sometime. Okay, got that carburetor back on there. Now, got a new gasket under the spacer and on top of the spacer. Got everything cleaned up. That's much better now. Hooked the throttle back up, both the hand and the foot. Got the fuel line back in there. Plugged up all the vacuum ports that I could find. Got that sweet chrome air filter back on there. So I haven't started it yet. It should run better though. You know, the chrome's gonna get her home though. Okay, so now we're coming back over here to the old, what we call cop car, because we need battery box, battery, and the battery cables. You know, they were here, but now they're not. We got to go get them off from this one over here. So I stole from the cop car for this car. Like I said, this one didn't make it where it was supposed to go, so we got her tucked over here against the fence for the winter. So we're going to take these cables back out again. I think it's the third time, maybe only the second. I don't know. But we'll get them out of this car and put them back in the other one. So let's see, did I guess right? Oh yeah. Oh my. I must have been feeling pretty tough that day. Okay, so there's the ground. Okay. There's one of them. Now over here to the starter. I think I might have to go find another wrench. Yep, gonna have to have another wrench, but I gotta get it off the starter down there, and then we'll take them back over to that car. So I'll catch you guys up when we get back over there. Okay, it's the next day again. Let's see, got that
steering shaft laid in down there. Now, the only thing I could find in the right size was zinc plated. Whew, not fun. Took a grinder to it. It was a little difficult to deal with, but here's the steering wheel side. Got her run down through the floor. It's a lot straighter than the other one was. Over in that mess, got the wire to the starter connected back to the solenoid, so that's working as it should. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, took it for a little rip down the road and back. It does not drive good. When I came back, I see that the radiator is leaking again. We'll dump some more magic potion in the filler cap for that. Let's see, still gonna change the front tires on it because that one is way too big for the way it's leaning. It's catching this firewall behind the fender. It's catching the frame over there, so we got a smaller set we'll stick on the front of there. Other than that, I threw the charger on it. It's been a couple hours now. I don't see anything boiling out to be concerned with yet, so it's doing fine. So from that one there, been working on this one over here. So we're back over onto the cop car now. And right now my main purpose is to get this battery box together. So a friend of ours threw that together real quick last night while I was shopping for that steering shaft. So right now I've already got it bolted to the floor, and I'm just setting up some all thread. And this plate here, which I now realize, that'll probably be fine. But so yeah, just getting this put in there so that the battery stays where it's supposed to be. Then we'll get it hooked up and whatnots, and from there it's probably just fluids. I don't know. We'll see. Well, just topped off the fuel tank. Still got to do these front tires, but we might as well start it up. Noisemaker engaged. Well, she's a smoker. That's okay. So really, keep that charger going for a while on that battery and change these front tires out, put a little smaller on there so we can turn it. I think this one might be done, unless there's something the kid wants to do, but I'm done. I'm done. Okay, now that we're done smoking the other car, come over here. I've got our battery box in place, battery secured, hooking up the cables and all of the little wires. So over here on this ground, terminal. We only have one wire, which is the ground for the electric fuel pump. Everything else is on the positive side. So right here is the switch for the fuel pump power. Right here is the starter button to make it crank. And right here is the wire up to the coil for the ignition. So I wired them all individually whenever that was. Some guys will run just one up and then chain off from that, daisy chain or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I had wire, I guess. So I actually kind of like to have them all run individually. I don't know. It's preference, I suppose. This Legend battery out of the Black Ford's got some juice in it. She's biting my arm over here on this pipe. But I think that's going to do it for all of our power situations. Everything's tight. Looks like I've got some power. So I think right now I'll swipe that battery charger from the other car, put it over here for a little bit. Have a look around, see if there's anything else I can think of. Well, on this one, I've tried to go smaller. Now, there's room. The problem is, if you look at this wheel, the face of this, you've pretty much got all the wheel wrapped around everything. And then back up in here, she's buried against that ball joint, so it's not gonna turn like that. So, gonna have to find something that'll space out a little bit, even though I would really like to have it tucked in there as far as it could be. But that one ain't gonna work. It's now over there. Alrighty, now, way over here. I was sitting in the shop and thinking on it and whatnots, and I remembered that I stole the vacuum line for the brake booster, which is connected to the back of the carburetor there. Yes, that is an air fitting, but that's gonna be a massive vacuum leak, right? Plus he kind of might like his brakes. So we'll get that put back on. And then while I was at it, choke's wired open. That's a good step there. But we're gonna have to find some throttle cable for this. We've got this hand wire on there, but we stole the foot feed for the other car that's running. So figure something out here. All right, since you showed up, take us through what you've done. Let's start with this car.
So this trunk, as you guys remember, was smashed into the back window. So I flattened it out and smashed it down so that way it's kind of like a ramp. So it doesn't keep packing in there and it'll start bending up on this back bumper.
What else?
And I put this front tire on, but I think my dad's gonna change it because it sticks out.
Well, the problem is we're into the upper ball joint. So we got to find something that gets away from it, and that might be it. I don't know. What else?
And then I think that's, oh, my dad.
I covered everything that I've done. So we're just talking about since you got here.
Well, that's about all that I've done since I've gotten here.
Okay, so then what do you got left with this car?
Other than the front tire, this car's done.
Okay, so we're putting smaller ones on the front so it can turn, because I showed you guys they're kind of pigeon-toed. No, not pigeon-toed. Duck-footed. No, I don't know. They're pointing different directions. Let's talk about this other car. What have you done? I covered what I did, so what'd you do?
So up in here.
Up in here? Isn't that a country song? Country grammar?
I put a new shifter in.
Let's see.
The old one kept falling down on the floor, so
Got a
had to get
new
in.
shifter. That's interesting. You know, the piece that was on the end of that all thread is supposed to make it go alongside the transmission.
We tried for the whole time we were at the shop and it wouldn't work.
Either way, that's what happened. Apparently it works. What else you do to this
Other than
one?
that's all I've done to this one.
Did you put a throttle
Oh,
cable
yeah,
on
I
it?
did put a new throttle cable on it.
So we stole the throttle cable off from this car for the other car. Well, now he wants to run both cars. So he went and did a walk around, found this cable, got it on there. See how that works. We've got the backup hand system. What else you do over here?
That's it.
That's it, huh? All right,
I
well,
did notice that this throttle cable is kind of sticking on the air cleaner, so might
yeah.
have to run it off the switch for a little bit.
Off what switch?
The on and off switch.
Why?
In case you get going towards a barrier or something, shut it off.
Well, that's stuff you got to figure out. So now I think what I want to do is, this car's up. These tires are straight, even though we have that one on backwards. That's a clearance issue as well. So I think we're going to swap these out. Put the ones that were on the other car onto this car. But like I was getting onto, this one's up a little higher than that one. That one's, she's getting down. We're starting to go into the ground. I think I want to put this car onto that trailer. That trailer's pretty tall up off the ground, so those ramps get a little steep, and I think it's too much for that car, so we're going to swap trailers here. Point being, we're just taking 2 trailers to town, 1 trip, get her done. Going for a rip.
All the way up's reverse. All the way down is drive.
What?
All the way up on that shifter is reverse. All the way down is drive.
Yeah. Oh, I'm too old for this getting in and out of the cars. Maybe not too old, just too fat, too lazy. So you got park blocked out then?
Yep.
Okay. Noisemaker engaged. Where I want to go?
No, I don't know.
I thought you said it was running.
It ran just fine yesterday.
Why'd you have the air cleaner off?
To get the throttle cable on.
It's getting fuel in it.
Now what's air cleaner?
It's not bad.
All right, you're good. You're good to come down.
Good?
Yeah.
I don't know why it wouldn't start, but here we go.
is just to slide to the left and slowly creep. That's good. Okay, straight. Come down. Hold on. Oh. Get it out of the road, Dad. You got cars.
Better block the tires. I think she's feeling good this morning.
Seemed like it was cutting out to me.
It does. A little bit. But it's been sitting for 2 years.
You good to let off?
You got both sides
No.
of the tire. I think either the tranny's a little low or the linkage needs adjusted.
I had to put trans fluid in it last night just to get it onto the trailer.
I already put quite a bit in it yesterday.
I had to put the rest of that in it.
I don't know if we have any more. How'd she look?
Pretty good.
You think it's good to go?
Sounded like you blew it up down there.
That's what I do. Well, it's turned to rain. We like them muddy. Now we got to figure out how to get them on the trailer. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to get the black town car. We're going to see if we can get it on the little trailer first. So maybe we'll show you that little bit of a cluster. But otherwise, what do you have to say about all this?
So I'm really happy it's raining. I like running in the rain. Makes it muddy and slick and seems like a lot more fun to me.
Okay, you got any words of wisdom?
Don't tap it, smash it, and stick it and hold it and ride it out like a boss.
Oh, yeah, we ain't used that one in a minute.
Yeah.
go ahead and take us out on this video, and then we'll just end it off with you trying to kit me on the trailer. So take us out.
So don't forget to like and subscribe. Go follow our Instagram. Smash that like button on all of them. Thank you for watching.
All right, now you can stand over here out of the rain until I come back around, because I've already upset the neighbors. But when I come back around, then you can guide me up the ramps. See if I fall.
Should have taken the steering wheel off
Yeah, why is it on there?
so I could turn the tires.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing to that steering wheel?
Trying to get it off there. Don't you worry about that.
I would also move that tarp because there's a lot of water on it.
I'm flipping it over, see?
But then my seat's gonna get wet from the water on the backside.
Don't you worry about it, because it's gonna get wet. No matter what you want. All right. Upset the neighbors 2.0.
Maybe not.
This fuel pump's out, bud.
It's out.
I think so.
Is there still gas in it? I think it's got fuel.
Maybe the rain isn't a good thing. Give me something to smack this pump around. Give me a straight edge screwdriver.
It's got fuel.
It's pushing.
Do I need to hold my hand over that choke for you to get it to start?
Well, I think your ignition system's probably wet.
Well,
Take the line off the carburetor. Give me your... See if we get it up there. I mean, it acts like it's mad that it's raining.
slick.
But I think the ignition's probably gotten wet. You know, here it is. Trying to get to town.
Hit it. Yep, you got fuel. It looks like water, like straight water.
Well, what'd you put in the tank?
I haven't filled it up. Oh, in Torrington?
The tank's full, but I don't know how it could get water in there. It had to come out of a jug.
It didn't come out of my jug. My jug's gonna get wet.
And the way it's popping through that carburetor, I think the ignition's wet. Wow.
Maybe not. You can try to pump it and just try to burn some and see what happens.
I know the ignition's wet because it's raining out there. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Make sure everything on your coil's still hooked. I mean, just around the coil wire and the power wires.
No, you're good. Everything's hooked onto it.
I don't know what's going on.
Try it
It's wet ignition.
Try to keep the air cleaner on and see.
No, it's a wet system. I mean, I know we got silicone all over the top of the cap, and it's probably not there. It's over on the coil, I'm sure. You got a good ground on that bolt that's holding the coil on there? But the way it's popping through the carburetor, it's missing a wire. And it's because it's raining like crazy.
I try to check the spark plugs.
No. Just see that none of the wires got pulled off anywhere on the plugs, but there's no reason they would have. I'm sure it's getting water around that coil wire's probably it.
Manifold top, so.
Well, it did run for a minute. Take that coil wire out, I bet there's water down inside there. Well, tighten that bolt up that's holding it, because that's got to have a ground too. Well, maybe it don't. Is that coil wire taped?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not getting in there, but what's weird is if it sits here for a minute, it tries to pop off a couple cylinders.
You should be getting there. I think it's just got way too much fuel now.
No. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I don't know what its problem is. You think that fuel's bad?
Shouldn't be, it's brand new fuel.
Yeah, I don't know where it would have got water. I mean, I mixed some of that old stuff in there, but I don't think any of it had water.
It's still at least fire. It might run like crap, but it's still fire.
I mean, the other car, I don't know. Now that it's wet, maybe it won't work either. That's the thing, if I could just get it to fire up, I could make it come through. But then it pops through the carburetor.
Battery dying?
No.
That didn't sound good.
Starter's probably dying. Every freaking time we try to go into town, home show, the cars don't want to run. Gonna be there early? Nope, not us.
Load the other car and let this one sit for a little bit?
Well, it's obviously not gonna stop raining, so that's not gonna help. And it's sitting in a bad spot to even just pull it on the trailer. Is there any water getting on that, down that coil wire? Down inside the coil?
No, there's no way for it to.
Is that coil wire in all the way?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this thing's problem is. Maybe it does have bad gas. I didn't do anything after I had it running besides put a couple of butt connectors in the wires.
Which I started it and it started just fine.
So
Unless they got water down in them butt connectors.
until the rain right now, it hasn't been a problem.
Did it not squirt any gas into that?
It did.
Doesn't seem like very much though, huh?
Get me a gas jug over there. Just set the camera down for a minute inside there. All right, so we're looking around, dumped some gas down there, got a fireball in the face. I don't know what's wrong. I want you to watch that accelerator pump shaft right there. There's a pump, and it's really slow to return. Wasn't like that the other day, but now it's got wet. Let's put a little juice on there. I mean,
Maybe
if I
spray
had
from this
any.
side?
Yeah. Spray it down. I thought that's what you were doing. Go get a can that has something in it. So what's going on is it's firing off from the shot that it gets out of the pump. The accelerator pump there. But then the accelerator pump's not springing back to keep it going. Now, you know, it should idle venturies and whatnot, but no choke and really no fuel in there, so it's really being stubborn. Right now, won't start, tired of it, getting the skid steer, we're going to town.